The special guest for this week's episode number 18, is Juliana Bollay, and she's done modeling on occasion. In fact, she was just at the South by Southwest Festival. This inspires me. I think I'm going to do some modeling poses myself. Here we go. Oh, and here's this pose. And how about this? Wait a second. What am I thinking? This is an audio program, not a video program. Oh well, I have a face for radio anyway. This episode of The Performers I Know, coming at you! These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are performers I know. All right, I'm ready for this one, folks. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of The Performers I Know. Sounded like my car was just dying. It was terrible. This is episode number 18. Oh, yes. Real excited for this one. This week, my guest, all the way from Studio, Texas. She is an accomplished actress, a singer, fashion model, and this is a first for the show. She's in a band. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Rocking and rolling, good times. What was that? I don't know. I'm hearing all sorts of weird, wacky noises over here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Miss Juliana Bollay. Juliana, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's really nice to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Now, just as a clarification, folks, that's Bollay with two L's. I made the mistake during one of my posters of spelling it with one L. And I was shocked and horrified. Can't believe I made that mistake. Won't make that mistake again. Because, I like to do right by everybody. But yes, Juliana Bollay. So welcome to the show. How are you doing? Because you just got back from South by Southwest Festival at a fashion show. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, once upon a time, a couple of months ago, in the latter half of 2023, I was casting for my revival of The Witches in the Woods, and I needed somebody to play Cecily, the young girl who seems like a sweet, innocent flower, but she's actually an evil witch. And Juliana was just the person for the role. Yes, it was a very, very tough audition process. But Juliana, I thought was the best for the role. But now, Jules, my question to you is this: what got you bitten by the? I don't want to say the acting bug because you do a lot more than that. What got you bitten by the performing arts bug, so to speak?
Well, when I was little, my mom took me to see a bunch of plays at the local theaters. And the second I saw that performance, I was like, Mom, I know what I want to do with my life. I want to do this. I want to perform. I want to entertain people. And it was just like a really kind of just like it hit me moment.
Oh, so it was like it dawned on you. I like to hear stories like that where somebody's watching a performance on stage and it's like, and then that's when it hit me. I want to mop up the floor after each show. Yeah, isn't that something? So,
Yeah.
yes, Jules did The Witches in the Woods along with Lucas Howell and Tomcat, who was actually just our last episode. We had Tomcat, so we had Mama. Now we have Cecily. Juliana, what were your fond memories of that wacky show?
Something I found like really interesting about doing it was that when you heard the voices, you never really exactly knew who was behind it. Well, I knew who was behind it, but like it's really cool because they can change their voices to sound like a completely different person when they are playing the grandmother or the boy, and I think that was extremely cool of how they did that.
Yeah, I readily admit, as I played the woodsman, for some strange reason, I just gave him the voice of Seth from Murder She Wrote. Yep. Now, Jessica, we have to figure out what this mystery. I don't know why I gave him that voice, but I did.
It
But
was very fun, and I really enjoyed it.
yeah, people seem to enjoy it because when it premiered on YouTube, on my YouTube page, it just exploded out of the gate. And we had about over 500 unique views, which is just mind-boggling. And Tom gave the theory that because the word witches was in the title, and that's a very popular thing nowadays, that's why people were listening to it. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But also it was the supreme talent of everybody involved. So I was just really appreciative of that.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely 100% agree.
So, for those of you who don't remember, 2 episodes back, we had Carlos Velasquez on the show. Carlos was on Sesame Street, as I told you all. Well, Juliana was on a somewhat adjacent kind of kids programming because she got herself on a Nickelodeon show. That's right. She was on Nick News. I don't know quite if Linda Ellaby is still there. That really dates me because Linda Ellaby's been with Nick News since as far back as I can remember. But yeah. Now, what was the segment in question that you were on Nick News for?
So the main thing that we were talking about was what it was like going to school during COVID, which was really interesting because a lot had changed over the years because of it, and it was really cool to show like how schools have changed because of the pandemic, and it was really fun.
And how did you guys get yourselves onto it? Did you just send in like an audition tape, like, "Hey, here's my life," and Nickelodeon just picked you up?
A little bit. We were kind of going through like auditions, and we were like, "What is this? Nickelodeon? We're probably not gonna get it, but we're no. Let's just have fun and just audition for it. See what happens. Just go with it." And so we did that, and then about a few weeks later, we hear back, and they're just like, "Hey, do you want to be in this episode?" And we're just like, "What? Oh,
What?
yeah,
What? Who is this? Don't call this number again. Shut up
sure."
now.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
man.
definitely surprise, but it was extremely fun to do.
I feel like either your mom or something on Facebook said that you guys were possibly going to be on Nick News again in some kind of capacity, or did I misread that?
Yes, we are currently filming another episode of Nick News. This one is about our parents being in the military and about them deploying and how we, as military children, deal with that and the experiences, basically teaching them about military life.
Oh, yes. Yeah, your father is in the military, I believe.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I thank him for his service. Very, very wonderful. So, yes, Juliana Parlayed. Well, actually, it's funny. Saying that Witches in the Woods was her first thing with me is actually kind of a misnomer because around the same time that she was doing that, she was also in one of my scene showcases, actually because of a need of necessity. I see, I had a scene called Sweet Jane, And the girl that I had in mind to play Jane originally had to drop out because of, well, I can't quite say why she had to drop out, but it was something really cool. And, I'm very proud of the accomplishments that she's had. So I was Janeless. We had our CJ, who was the great Owen Connor, who, as you all know, was way back in episode number 6. He was there. So I said to Jules, I said, Jules, if you can do me the favorest is of favors, and if you can fill in here. And she did. And she really knocked it out of the park. She had very good chemistry with Owen. Now, this was a little kind of sort of heavier themes involving, bad fathers and the horrible things that they do. What was your mindset walking into this with this kind of a situation?
It was definitely a little bit more difficult because I couldn't really relate. So I just decided to, you know what? I'm just going to pretend like I hate the world right now and just completely go off and see what happens.
Well, I guess pretending to hate the world paid
Pretend
off because what's that you said?
pretend to hate the world.
I'll pretend to hate the world. That's the mantra that we're using. Oh yes. So Jules really showed that she is very good at doing voiceover work, but she's even better at being a part of a rockin' good band. Because, those of you who don't know, Juliana is in a band called Echoes of the Future. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about?
So we decided that we wanted to spread a message to people that basically to love themselves, not to be afraid, to basically not be shut down by society standards and just be yourself, have fun, be confident. So me and a couple of my friends from the local theater decided to get together and form this band to spread our message.
And what kind of music do you guys do? Is it straight up rock and roll or is it like Scandinavian jazz or something of that nature?
We're kind of trying to do a little bit of everything right now. Right now we're doing a little bit of pop, but we're also hoping to do some rock and country in the future and even a little bit of rap and R&B. So we're just kind of gonna try all the genres of music and see which one hits the band best.
I can't wait for your polka album to drop. That's going to be the sickest record of 2073. Yeah, that's right. If you guys have time to wait, polka album, polka your eyes out, coming out March 2073. It's going to be on all the record stations. It's going to be fun. I'll, I'll take that silence from Jules. No, Dane, please be serious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Yes. So, you have done a lot. Like I said, you're a Jill of all trades. You do voiceover, you do television, you do musical theater, but the one thing that you seem to hit across quite well is now you do fashion and modeling. Did that come first, or was it your musical theater stuff that came first in terms of things that you've done?
In terms of things I've done, it has started with musical theater.
Okay, so then you parlayed yourself later on into modeling.
Yes, sir. Actually, I had my first modeling job actually yesterday.
Yes, that's right. See, as we're recording this, it is March 17th. The air date, of course, is later on in the year, but as we're recording this, it is March 17th. And on March 16th, Juliana went to a very important fashion adjacent event. It was at the South by Southwest Festival, and that's very big. You know, probably I would say, New York City Fashion Week is a big mega, but South by Southwest is nothing to sneeze at. Now tell me, Jules, how in the world did this happen? How did this come about?
So my agent sent us this local audition for Fashion Week in South by Southwest Festival, and we were like, well, this is local, kind of. Texas is big. It was only an hour away, so we were like, you know what? Sure, let's send in the audition tape and see how it goes. So a little bit later, they were like, yes, we want you in it. And the entire message for it was basically to love ourselves and love our bodies, and everyone is beautiful, which I think is a really great message because that is also what the band is trying to go for. So I was really excited to do that, and it was a very fun and interesting experience.
Well, I always appreciate, bands and shows and fashion adjacent things that have that kind of positivity because I really feel like we need more positivity in the world right now. And things of this nature truly highlight it. And Jules got to have a lot of fun, and she met some really great new friends and one uh, admirer. We're not going to get into that right now.
Oh my
So,
god. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
well, no,
definitely
no, we're not going to get into it. I know exactly what happened, but just going to leave it at that. Uh, yes. So, one of the things that I noticed is that Jules has done the show Matilda quite a few times, and she really she has played Amanda Thripp, I believe, is the character.
yes, sir.
Now, is that the one that gets swung around by her pigtails by Trunchbull?
Oh yes, that is definitely the best.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask this. This might be a silly question, but how did you guys do that? Like, how did Trunchbull grab you and start swinging you around like a big old pendulum?
So we made this um life-size doll. And basically we sewed in some pigtails and tried to make it look like me. So that way she would swing the doll so that way she would push me back, and then someone would throw her the doll and she would swing it around and then just throw the doll at the audience.
Oh, she threw the doll at the audience.
At the audience. And then
Oh dear. And
yep.
so never hold the poor old lady in the third row just got nailed. That's terrible.
Luckily it's just stuffing. Don't worry. No one got hurt.
No one, okay, there was no like concussions and nobody had a heart attack. Like, oh my God, that poor girl just got flung into the audience. Oh no. Well,
Don't
thank
worry.
goodness for that. So she pushed you off stage and then she came back with the dummy. Is that what you're basically?
Yep, and then I would have to run really, really fast to make it to the other side within like 10 seconds. I was like, oh, okay, let's do
start
this.
barreling people, start barreling people over, knocking over stage managers. Like you got to get out of the way.
Oh my
Don't you
gosh.
just don't you just love having to do like quick changes or quick set pieces like that? Really gets the
Yep.
heart pumping, don't you think?
Yeah, it's definitely really stressful, but it's also like really fun because you're like, okay, we gotta go, go, go.
We gotta go, 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 go. Oh man, I'm very lucky that lately I've done shows where I don't have to change quickly or run all over the place because yeah, I would probably just be out of breath, collapse on the stage, like, oh, it's okay. Inspector Poirot just needs to lay down for a couple minutes so I can just catch my breath. Oh, oh. You know, Jules really has she's run the gamut of things that she's done. Because not only has she done television in the sense of actual TV shows, she's been in a lot of commercials. I'm noticing amongst these commercials, she was in Dick's Sporting Goods and AT&T and Texas Tourism. Now, but these were these local commercials or were they did they air like nationwide?
I think I definitely know that the AT&T one aired nationwide, and I think the other two were just local commercials for the state of Texas. So,
Uh, well, yeah, I mean the Texas Tourism. I don't suspect it would air in New York, but that's I've seen sillier things happen.
yeah,
Do you so you get those big old royalty checks for the commercials? Is that how it works?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to be in an AT&T commercial. Now I don't know. I don't know if I want to now. It's terrible.
Um,
You don't I'm
I
just
think
kidding.
it's well, I think it's just a one-time check. So like we got
Huh?
paid for it, but it's not like a royalty thing. So we did get paid for it.
Well, no, I assumed you get paid for it, but I figured, the kind of thing like, oh, well, if it's airing all over the place, and then I thought that's how the royalty checks work when you do commercials of that nature. Oh man. So do you have any other kind of stuff coming up soon? I know you just finished your South by Southwest. Does your band have any concerts planned or do you have any
Um,
shows that you're doing?
so right now, we're just finishing up the episode on the news, and the band is starting to work on the demo album in Spotify. So that's going to be really fun.
Oh, so you haven't quite finished your Nick News yet?
No, but today is going to be the last day of filming, so I'm
Hey,
really excited for that.
so
And
listen, if you wanted to like sneak the cameras in here and like listen to my voice so I can get on Nick News, you know, I mean, I don't know, like you can just like,
yeah,
oh hey, they spell my name, they spell my name Daoe, like okay, whatever. At least I'm on television. No, I wouldn't do that. That would be silly. So, as we look at the old clock on the wall, sadly, we are starting to run out of time. As much as I would like to continue this fun episode, we are starting to wrap things up a little bit. Jules, my last question to you, as I ask all of my guests, if somebody were to come up to you and say, "Hey, Juliana, I want to be a performer. I want to do acting. I want to do singing. I want to be in a band. I want to go on the fashion show stuff." What would be the piece of advice that you would give them in order to best break into the industry?
something that I think I would tell people is the thing that got me into the industry was kids casting calls. They have helped me out a lot, and they're the reason as to why I got started in the career, and they're the reason why I've made it this far, and I'm very grateful to them.
So just rely on a good set of people around you, essentially, is what you're saying.
Um, yes, I would also say make connections and get out and just get out there, just show the world, hey, I'm here. This is who I am. This is what I do. And never go against your morals. Just be who you are.
Exactly. I've been telling people that for years. Always be who you are. Do the
Yeah.
right thing, as the movie title likes to say. Well, as our closing intro plays us out, I would like to thank Juliana for being a wonderful guest. And Yeah, I hope to work with you again soon.
I hope you as well. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. All right, everybody. That is it for our episode. We will see you next time. Have a good night.
These are the performers I know. These are performers I know.